Real estate mentors are freaking expensive. I mean, it is amazing what people charge out there for getting your hands on one. Because the reality is, if you can catch a tiger by the tail and do some deals, you might make a lot of money. You could certainly lose money. At the end of the day though, you don't want to go into the forest without having a guide. And with real estate, it's so important to have one. Question is, what's the most intelligent way to get a mentor? Do you have to pay tens of thousands of dollars, or is there a better way?
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
I was seriously so nervous to do my very first real estate deal. I knew that real estate was going to be my means for how I was going to create wealth, but I was terrified. I remember I was driving home from work and I'd followed the advice of one of my mentors. I essentially had barely 2 years of work history at my job. I was still in college at the time, and I'd barely saved up like $5,000 in my bank account. Still have credit card debt, $5,000 in the bank. I worked my butt off to like save that up. I felt like it was time now for me to get my first deal. And it was kind of weird because before my mentor stepped in, it was a weird, blustery, snowy day in Utah where in the May, it's not usually supposed to be snowing. And it was weird. I also had this strange feeling just to drive home a different way. And I'm a super focused human being. It's something I would have never done, but I was going with my intuition. So I started taking some back roads home. And then all of a sudden, the snow started coming out of the sky, except there was no clouds and it was blue sky. I'm like, this is so freaking confusing. I wasn't even used to Utah weather yet because I was just there for college. Sure enough, right when the snow hit, I noticed out of the corner of my eye, a house I had never driven by before, a for sale by owner sign. And immediately I could just feel it in my heart. It's like, this is it. So I checked, I knew I was safe. I did a U-turn, I pulled in front of the property. On the sign, they put the price. It was $110,000. I had no idea whether that was a good price or not. I just thought, well, I'm gonna try to get a better price. So I remember being super nervous because I was gonna go knock on this door. I pulled up my hatchback and I pulled out my notepad and I was trying to find a way to look as official as possible because I probably looked 12 years old. So super nervous, I'm shaking in my boots, even though I didn't have boots. I knocked on the door and this old grumpy woman answers the door. She says, "What do you want?" And I said, well, I'm here to look at the house for sale. And then I said the dumbest thing. I said, would you take $100,000 for it? Like I dropped the price $10,000. I knew nothing about the house, bedrooms, bathrooms, hadn't even seen it. Like I just didn't know what to do. I just freaking felt scared. And her response was, no. And I was like, oh, okay, well, can I see the house? And she let me in and I walked around. When it was done, I collected the information, bedrooms, bathrooms, square feet, just some basic stuff. Something inside said I should be really excited about this house. So I got in my car and I drove to my mentor's house. And I said, John, I found this house. And by the way, John had made millions of dollars in real estate. And so I said, John, I found this house. Is it a good deal? He showed me how to validate the value of the house. He showed me that it was worth probably around $150,000. She was gonna sell it for $110,000. It was a great deal. So I said, well, what do I do next? He says, well, you gotta get it under contract. So I found a realtor and I wrote up the contract and it was presented to this woman. Basically, I got the house under contract and I had to close in like 30 or 40 days. I'll tell you what happened next. I was so grateful that John was there. I was nervous. I'd never done this before. I was so glad that I had John in my back pocket. He says, now you got to get the financing. So I went to the first bank I was qualified with and it turns out they were not going to qualify me. So then I was like panicked. What do I do, John? He said, Kris, get another bank. It's a numbers game. Second one also fell through. I only had like 10 days left to like deliver on this loan. I remember John just said, keep going. I found a third bank and by the skin of my teeth, I qualified to buy this house. This was the beginning of hundreds and then thousands of homes. I didn't know much. It would have never happened if I didn't have my mentor in my back pocket. Every single one of us needs a mentor. In fact, if you don't have a mentor in your life that can help walk you through your first deals, you should be scared because what you don't know is dangerous. What you don't know can actually hurt you. And so what I want to do in this short video is I want to share with you how you can get the cheapest, most amazing mentor you possibly can. Because bottom line is, mentors charge a lot of money. I've paid over $2 million for mentorship in finance and wealth and real estate and other areas of my life. The reality is you get what you pay for in so many circumstances. Today I want to share with you a hack on how you can get in the game of real estate when you know next to nothing and have people that you can contact that can show up and actually walk you through the ropes and help you figure out how to really crush it in real estate. I think there's 4 things that are most important when finding a mentor. The first thing that is going to be really critical is you have to find a mentor that has the appropriate level of experience. And how much experience should you actually be looking for? Dude, my rule of thumb has always been a team or a person that has 10 times the results that you want to produce. And so if you find someone with that level of experience, their experience is what's going to save you. They may not be the most eloquent teacher or the best teacher, but the bottom line is if they have been where you're trying to get to, they should be able to articulate what that looks like. Not just experience, you actually need to find a mentor who is available. Because there's a lot of them. The reality is some of the most capable, successful people on the planet, they don't want to be a mentor. Like that's not their life calling. They're not here to teach you and hold your hand and show you how it's done. There are some people that feel called to that, but a lot of people at the end of the day, they just want to make more money. They want to be more successful, and frankly, they don't want to share their secrets with you because then you become competition to them. Teaching is just, it's nowhere in their mind. Number 3, they have to have that 10x level of results that you're looking for. By the way, a good mentor, if you're like, I want 25 homes, then go find a mentor that's done 250 homes. If they haven't done that, they're probably not going to measure up. Something happens when you do something over and over and over again and you've hacked the formula for success. Yes, they have to have the experience, but they have to have the results. They have to be available. Most importantly then, the last thing is they have to be able to point you in the right direction because there's a direction for you to go, and most people will waste their time doing the things that actually don't work or don't matter. Someone that can point you in the right direction, has the results, is available and experienced. It's not always the easiest person to find. And many of these mentors, you know what they really want? It's amazing. These gurus out there, they want to charge 5, 10, 15, 20,000, 60,000. Some of them are $80,000 or $100,000 just to be your teacher. And they're justifying that if you do a deal and you make 50 grand and do a couple of those, then it paid for itself. I've never felt that financial education should be that expensive. It should be the opposite. It should be as available to as many people as it possibly can be, which is why I'm doing something that most of my peers think is kind of nuts. If you actually ever click the links below or talk to a member of my company, we actually charge little money for knowledge and information. We're more interested in actually transacting and doing real estate and making the deals happen. Recently, I decided to do something brand new that I have never done before in my company. I don't know what it is, but I'm always fighting for the underdog. No one was in my corner. No one had my back except for my wife, and she was freaking scared. She was nervous. My mentors, I had to pay for my mentors. The reality is my family, my brothers and sisters and friends, most of them thought I was cuckoo for doing what I was doing when I was in college. And even though in hindsight, I'm so glad I did what I did, I felt really alone. You should never lone wolf real estate. You should never say it's a solo journey. I'm going to do it all by myself. The reality is you need someone that's in your corner. So I decided to create something where someone could basically access my team. So I have a team, just so you know, some of you do know this because I buy real estate every day. I'm not an educator of real estate. I'm showing you guys how I am succeeding doing what I'm doing. And I buy houses every single day. And the reality is I don't do it on my own. I don't do anything almost in real estate. What I have is I have built my team of 200 experts. And these experts, they are the ones who are buying me the best deals in America every single day. These are the real whizzes. These people are freaking rock stars in my world. If you've been to any of my events, you've met them. They're incredible. And so the experts that run this, I basically decided to create something for the community. What it is basically, it's a mentor hotline. It's less than $100 a month. And it basically says, if you're watching my videos and then you're going out there and you're like, hey, now I want to do real estate. I watched this video, but now I'm missing some information. Like, how does that thing Kris taught in the video apply to my backyard or this area? Or I got a question. You're going to have not just 10 questions, you're going to have hundreds of questions. And every answer in the beginning is to lead to more questions. What happens is this mentor hotline is my team that are currently transacting all of my real estate. For me, for all of my partners, everything that I'm doing, they're the ones that are picking up the phone and coaching and walking you through whatever questions that you have. I personally think that it is pretty cool. It's not for everybody. There is a small expense. And frankly, this is not a moneymaker for me. This is something that I do because there's too many of you out there that are saying, Kris, I don't have 10 grand, 20 grand for a program. I don't have 5 grand for a program. Dude, I'm like you. I've got almost nothing. Like, how do I get my start when I'm there? The reality is you need people that you can talk to that can guide you, get you in the right direction, and get you learning the things that you don't yet currently understand. That's now available to you. If you actually click in the link below, you actually have a chance to reach out to a member of my team, jam with them, and actually become one of my protege students working with my team to learn how to do real estate for yourself in the backyard. Listen, if that's useful for you, take advantage of it. It's there for you. If it's not useful for you, no worries. I just wanted you to be aware of how you could access mentorship for the smallest price I've ever seen before. For the rest of you, listen, make sure that you subscribe and that you keep watching these videos, because every day what I put out here, it's designed to help you get smarter and wiser and ultimately learn how to take financial control of your future, because you got this one life to live. You're gonna wanna live as amazing and limitless as you possibly can. I hope my channel is doing that for you. So thank you for subscribing. And if you could do me a favor, will you smash that like button? Tells YouTube and the algorithm that they should be sharing this with more people. That's meaningful to me. It's a nice little give back. And other than that, make it a freaking fantastic day. What you need is in the links below, or subscribe, like this, and I'll see you on tomorrow's video.